All right, you want to start investing. I get that. And you don't know where to start and you don't know how much money you need. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't even need that much money. You can start with $5 if you want. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about investing. And investing can be really a bunch of different things, but we're going to be talking about investing with the stock market. And the stock market is a place where companies trade their shares. And, of course, they might go up in value, they might go down in value. No one really knows. But historically, the S&P 500, which is the group of the top 500 companies in the United States, it averages about 9.8% returns each year, which is better than any CD, any savings account will ever get. So, I'm going to teach you guys something called compound interest. And if you look at this here, over time, a tree grows. That's just how it does, and you need to start planting as soon as you possibly can. Over time, your money's going to grow. If it's returning 9.8% each year, that's exponential, so it's going to grow over time. It's not going to be linear, it'll be exponential, and I'll show you right over here. But if money will grow over time, why is it so crucial that you start as soon as possible, as young as you possibly can? Well, the reason why is because compound interest, the biggest thing that you need on your side is time, right? Time in the market is the best thing that you can have. On the right, we have someone that starts investing when they're 20 years old, and these are assuming that you're going to take your money out when you're 60 years old, right? So he starts out with $10,000. Each month he puts in $1,000. In 40 years, he has 5.5 million, or just about. On the contrary, if someone starts at 30 years old and they, when they retire at 60, they do the exact same thing. They start with 10,000 and they monthly contribute $1,000. They'll have less than half of that. 10 years makes all the difference. It's crazy. So, it's important that you start now. But what the hell do you even buy? The stock market is huge. There's so many things that you can buy. Rule of thumb, if you don't know what to buy, just go with the S&P 500. It's the top 500 companies. Every single, company that's trying to beat the stock market, what do they reference? Well, they reference the S&P 500 because that's just what the market is doing, right? And I kind of talked about it before, but a stock is just a share of a company, and an ETF, exchange traded fund, like this one right here in the bottom corner, is the S&P 500 ETF, and it's just literally a company is kind of managing you owning all 500 top stocks at the same time. They take like a little fee, but it's super, super easy. I can go into depth in another video about it, but realistically, there's so many things you can do in the stock market, right? So many things you can buy. What do I use myself for stocks is I use Robinhood, and I recommend it because, I started out, I knew nothing about the stock market, right? And I got the app, and it teaches you the fundamentals of everything. So I highly, highly, highly recommend Robinhood. There will be a link in the description where you can get $5, or I think you can get up to like 100, but it's like a lower chance of free stock. And so I tell everyone to do that because it's free money. So here's some mistakes to avoid though. Don't chase hype stocks because I promise you it's just not worth it. Investing also just isn't gambling. You just own a company, and companies will go up, they'll go down. That's a guarantee. So it's not gambling because you always own something. And don't fall into the trap of being scared and selling. Don't do that. Don't get greedy and buy more, but just what you should do, and what the best investors in the world do, is something called dollar cost averaging. So you just buy a little bit over time, and the cost will average out, and that's how you get the best returns. So what if you're scared? Don't be scared. I was kind of nervous, when I was investing, because I'm like, I don't want to lose all my money, because stock market's volatile, right? Yes, it is volatile, but you also have to understand scared money doesn't make money. You need to invest to, have a better future for yourself, or retirement, or whatever you're kind of investing for, right? The richest people in the world, what do? They all invest their money because it's how you make your money grow without really doing anything. And 9.8% sounds pretty nice. Of course, it doesn't do that every year, but it's kind of just an average, right? And I'm going to promise you this. Starting now is the best thing you can do. Your future self is going to, love you for doing this, because putting money your way and letting it grow is the best thing you can do. You definitely don't want to be in retirement having to worry about Social Security checks coming in, whatnot. Trust me, invest now and your future self will thank you. I guarantee it. And if not, you can leave a hate comment for all I care. But question I'm gonna ask everyone here is, if you wanted to share some advice for a new investor, of course I'm talking about people that already kind of know what they're doing. What is something that you wish you knew? Leave that down in the comments below. If you have questions, leave them, and I'll try to answer, or other people can as well. But yeah, so the next video that I'm gonna have is about retirement. You know, the different types of retirement accounts you can have and whatnot. And that's gonna be so fun because, you know, as a young person, I'm sure that's exactly what you want to talk about right now, of course. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.